Social Zoom Factor episode 188.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Does your current website or blog got you down? Do you need a better hosting platform to help your business zoom turbo versus speeds that are slow and holding you back? No need to look any further than our partner HostGator. Have an existing site? No worries. They can seamlessly transfer your existing site for free and have you zooming turbo in no time for as little as $4 a month. Check them out at HostGator.com and save 30% on new hosting packages using the coupon code ZOOM, or simply go to socialzoomfactor.com/HostGator. The Marketing Nuts Agency helps companies transform their social and digital business from the inside out. Visit their website at www.themarketingnutswithaz.com for a client list, case studies, and some amazing free resources to get you started down the path of success. Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. Hope you are doing great today. All right, today we are talking about your audience, your customers, and how you can create content on the digital and social web for your audience. So I am going to provide you 10 ways, 10 tips, 10 tactics that you can better write for your customer. And what happens when you do this? What happens when you write for your audience and you know your audience and you inspire them? You inspire them to connect with you with a goal of helping them achieve their objectives. You achieve your objectives too, because your objectives are one and the same. Okay. And when you start to align your objectives from a digital and a social and a content marketing perspective with the needs of your audience, I'm telling you, friends, that is where you are going to see exponential growth and success in everything you're doing with digital and social and content marketing. All right. So let's dig in and get started. So tip number 1 is obvious. You need to know your customer. Who are they? If you don't know who they are, ask them. And with social media, it makes it so easy today to know our customer. Listen to episode 186 and 187, where we talked about how to leverage social media for market research, for customer research. If you don't know your customer, you better figure out quick how you can know your customer. And if you're sitting here at the end of November and you're planning for 2016 and you're putting all these strategies and tactics and social media plans together of what videos you're going to do and what content you're going to do and blog posts and campaigns and email marketing, and you don't know your customer, you need to hit pause, honestly, on everything else you're doing. And you need to take time to learn your customer. And you can start by downloading our audience analysis worksheet. It's based on the Forrester Post methodology. Just go to socialzoomfactor.com/audience. It will help you prioritize your audiences, and it will also help you put your own social strategy framework together. Okay. It serves as a framework for developing your social media plan. But when we talk about knowing our customer, you need to know not just their demographics. Okay. That's important too. You need to know who, how old are they? What's their education? Where did they go to school? Where do they work? Where do they live? All of those types of things. But you also need to know their psychographics. Okay. Where are they hanging out online? What's their social graphic look like? What's that social graph look like? What's their top social networks? What do they need when they're visiting those social networks? What time of day are they visiting those social networks? What's keeping them up at night? What problems do they have? What do they need from you? When do they need it? How do they need it? And how do they want you to deliver it to them? You're going to need to know those questions and those answers. And listen to those other 2 podcasts I mentioned, because they're truly going to help you. And remember, if you don't know the questions, if you don't know the answers, you can do the research utilizing social media. Tip number 2 is to simply be yourself. Okay, be human. Your audience and your customers are human, right? You don't need to talk like a search engine. Okay. If you start writing content only for SEO, and I recently talked about this in a podcast of how you can create more discoverable content for the search engine as well as social networks, and most importantly for humans. Okay. If you create content that is human, that is discoverable by humans, it's going to better connect with your audience. You don't want to create content just for the old days, the black hat social media folks and a lot of SEO folks used to do just for SEO content. Write content for your audience. Be yourself and know that you are human. Your audience is human. You're going to make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfectly wordsmith. Perfection is truly the enemy of really, really good when it comes to social and content marketing. You just need to get started. It only takes a seed to grow a full garden, to grow a full field, to grow a community. Okay. It truly only takes a seed. Tip number 3 is your headline. Okay. So any headline opportunity that you have with digital and social media, whether that be through your blog, whether that be through, a medium.com post, whether that's on LinkedIn posts that you're doing, a long form post on Facebook, even things you're testing on Twitter. Tell them what's in it for them. Make that headline matter. Make that headline be really descriptive of what they're going to find when they click on that link. And I truly believe in not bait clicking. So do not put content out there that's going to trick people. You don't have to say, this is the best ever, since sliced bread content on how to do ABC. No, you don't have to get super creative. Get simple. Keep it short and simple. Be very specific, be catchy, but test what's in it for them. There's some markets that in some industries and niches that they don't really want it to be too edgy. If you're targeting attorneys, if you're targeting some of the different industries, they may or may not want that content to be edgy. They may, if you're targeting a certain demographic and a certain persona type of person that is edgy, then yes, you may want to have some more of those edgy headlines. But that's why you need to know your audience. You need to know that persona of who that person is that you're targeting on the other end of that content. Tip number 4 is to know specifically what problems your audience has and how you are going to help them fix the problems. And here, I want you to get really specific and really tactical. Put these things in a spreadsheet, okay? And just start listing out the problems that your customer has. What are the things that are keeping them up at night? And then you start to map the solution, the need to the problem. So what is the need? What is the problem? What is the need that they have because of that problem? And what is the solution that you're going to be able to provide that satisfies that need and that helps them solve that problem? Okay. You need to map that out and you need to get very tactical and very specific. And then that takes us to number 5. As you get this spreadsheet together and you're identifying what are the top problems that your audience has, and now you know exactly how you're going to help them fix those problems, then I want you to select 3 of those. Okay, so identify 3 top problems that you know you can help your ideal customer fix, your audience fix. And then what we want to do is develop a mini marketing, / solution kit for each one of those problems. Okay, so what this would be a little marketing kit, a little solution kit. You'll have to figure out what you want to call it. We do a lot of these. Like I have an agency Zoom kit. I have a digital Zoom kit. We have different kits that we provide. And in that kit, you can provide different pieces of content, different types of medium. So for example, you could include a blog post that has a call to action for people to download a white paper. Okay. You could include a SlideShare deck, which is a presentation deck that you keep out in SlideShare. And SlideShare works really great for SEO, by the way, too. You could include a short video. You could include an audio, a podcast like this. You could then, from some of those pieces of content, turn that into a top 10 list or, top tips from there or a worksheet. But create a little mini kit that has at least 3 resources in it that people can access. And if you can, have a couple different resources that people can download in one kit, because the more value that you can put into a kit, the more downloads you're going to get, and you're going to be able to grow your email list if that is a goal for you. and center around the problems and solutions that your industry and your audience has. And it's going to get a lot easier for you to create content, because when you are centering around those specific problems and solutions, then you're able to start to, gather content around those specific things. And once you start to create a blog post and a white paper and a slideshare deck and a video on one specific problem, you're going to start to feel a lot more comfortable in creating that content for that audience. And you're going to become a lot more connected to that audience. Now, we still have 5 more tips that we need to talk through that are really going to help you write for your ideal audience. But before we dive into those, we need to hear a few words from our sponsors. So please give them a quick listen, and I will be right back. Would you like to get your business zooming turbo online, but don't know where to start? Is website development not your thing? Check out HostGator.com for all of your hosting needs. They have easy one-click WordPress installs or drag and drop website builders. If you need even more help, their website design, setup, SEO, and even managed services can have you zooming in no time. We have been hosting our own and client sites at HostGator for years, and I can personally validate that their service by far beats out their competition. With one little tweet, email, or chat conversation, they are there and ready to help you Zoom or resolve any issues that may come up 24/7, 365 days of the year. HostGator has the capacity to grow with you and scale when and how you need them to without headache or costing you a fortune. Check out HostGator.com today and save 30% on new hosting packages with coupon code ZOOM, or simply go to socialzoomfactor.com/HostGator. Again, that's socialzoomfactor.com/HostGator. Do you ever feel stuck in a rut, like your online business and social business isn't all that it could be? The Marketing Nuts Agency helps small businesses clear up to the Fortune 50 brands, provide clarity and vision for current and future programs. The Marketing Nuts believe in ROI-driven decision-making while still inspiring audiences with relevant content. From social business strategy and consultation, influencer marketing, to corporate training and workshops, and fully outsourced digital and social programs. The Marketing Nuts helps you prioritize your investment, impact business goals, and inspire your audience to invest in a relationship with you. To start the conversation, visit www.themarketingnuts.com. I'm back. Okay. Tip number 6 is to identify 3 data or industry insights that your customer, your audience doesn't already know, or may not have easy access to. So this could be 3 big data just pieces, maybe a piece of analytics or an industry insight. And then what you can do is do the same thing we talked about in tip number 5, where you can create a little mini kit for each of those. And maybe it's not something that they're going to download, but you can start to create some mini pieces of content that you're going to be able to focus on 3 primary insights. And are you getting a feel for where we're going with this? By the time you've completed what we've talked about so far, okay, you know your customer, you're being human, you're being yourself, you're writing headlines that are telling your audience what's in it for them, you're knowing what problems you are solving, and you're identifying top 3 problems that you're going to help your audience fix. Now we are identifying 3 data insights that we're going to write about and share information about. You are already starting to position yourself as an industry thought leader, because you are solving problems. You are talking about data industry and insights. You're talking about content and data pieces that maybe not everybody has access to. And you're starting to build your own platform of content, of very, very powerful assets that are going to help you as you move forward. Tip number 7 is to maybe try summarizing a key industry report that is exclusive. So maybe you pay for an industry report. Maybe you already have access to an industry report, or maybe there's a big industry report that is available, but you want to try to find something that is a bit exclusive and that not everybody may know about it. Or maybe your industry is just too big and busy that they're not digging into that data. So you can become a curator and somebody who's pulling out data nuggets and sharing that with your industry. It could be statistics. It could be regulations. Like if you're in healthcare, it could be HIPAA regulations. What's happening in the industry and how can you help summarize that key information? And again, you can put that in blog posts, presentation decks, audio, visual, the list goes on. Okay. It could be a top 10 list. Here's top 10 things you need to know about this industry report. All right. So you want to help people learn, help them be empowered, help them have the data and the knowledge that they need. Tip number 8 is that if you do not know the data, find the data. Know the data and listen more than you talk. Listen to episode 186 and 187 and leverage social media for social listening and market research. You have got to do this, my friends. You can execute surveys. You can use things like SurveyMonkey. You need to make sure that you are getting feedback from your audience on a regular basis. Consider launching your own community, whether that be on Twitter, on Facebook, on a LinkedIn group, but where you can have a private community or a public community that's sharing information that you can tap into, that you can share insights with, and that they can collaborate with one another. There are so many resources that you can find the data. There's no excuse to say, I don't know my customer, or I don't know what's happening in the industry, or I don't know what's going on here or there. All right. Number 9 is inspire your audience to engage with you further. So here I want you to make sure that you are inspiring them to take an action, okay? Because with each action that your audience takes, you learn more about your audience. Every time they click, every time they share, every time they comment, every time they subscribe to your blog RSS feed, your website RSS feed, my podcast RSS feed, every time they subscribe to a podcast, they download a podcast, every time they take an action, that is a data point that I'm able to learn about them, right? Once I get people to subscribe to my email list, then I know what content they like. I know what content they share. I know what content they engage with. I can send an email to our email list of over 50,000 people, and I know immediately what content is resonating with them. I see them immediately post those things on Twitter, right? I know what they're clicking on. I know what they're liking and what they are responding to. So inspire your audience to take action. And I truly believe that people want to be told what to do. When it comes to the media, and we just came out of a series where we talked about how we are the media, right? There is no surprise that we are in an attention-starved economy right now. And media is everywhere we go. So the best way for you to rise above the noise when it comes to marketing and social media is to inspire your audience to engage with you. Yeah. Rise above the noise, not by being louder, but by being more empowering, being more inspirational, by helping them connect with you. All right. Inspire them to take an action that's going to help them. It's not just an action that's going to help you build your email list, but it's an action that's going to help get them closer to their life or business goals. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. Tip number 10 is to do your research on the competition and the industry. Okay. So we talked a little bit about industry insights, and that's really not what I'm talking about here. Here, I'm talking about understanding what is your industry up to when it comes to social media. What content are they sharing? Okay. Who are the influencers in your industry? Who are the top competitors you have in your industry? How are they engaging on social media? What content are they sharing on the social web? What content are they sharing on Facebook, on Twitter? What is the trending topics for your industry? What are the least favorite topics? What are the topics that you're looking at that you would think maybe people would be consuming, but when you actually run the data and the reports, you're saying, well, those are kind of a flop. Okay. And don't spend too much time on your competition. Find out enough, but I truly believe in, building your own plan, your own strategy. There's only one way to do social media, and that is the way that works for you, your customers, and your business. So you don't need to be peeping over the fence too much, looking at your competition. Focus on the needs of your customer as a top priority. And make sure that you are not chasing shiny objects when it comes to making decisions for your business, for tools, for technology. Maybe it's analytics platforms that you're using, social dashboards, content marketing frameworks. Always go back to the needs of your audience. Always think, what would my audience want to hear? What does my audience want to hear? And when it comes to industry trends, the goal here is that you are staying up to speed and that you're not just following status quo, but that you're able to actually know what's happening proactively within the industry and always be keeping a pulse. And back in the day, we'd have market researchers who would do this once a quarter, a couple times a year, and we would depend on them. Those of us addicted to data, addicted to what's happening in our industry, always found a way to get that information sooner. So social gives us the ability today, the social networks and all of the media that we have out there, to understand what's happening real time in our industry. So use that available information to help you leapfrog your competition, to help you make sure that you become a leader in your niche, in your industry, and that you stay there. Because by understanding your competition, understanding your industry, and understanding where you sit in the larger ecosystem is going to help you make those decisions, not only about your business, but also about your content, because you can write ideal content for your audience and you could still sound like everybody else, right? So we want to write ideal content for our audience, but we want to move away from the echo chamber. We don't want to sound like everybody else. So find a way to use the data that you're gathering on your competition, on the industry, to make sure that you are gaining an unfair competitive advantage on top of those competitors you have and industry players who don't know how to gather that industry data and information. So there you have it in a nutshell, 10 easy ways that you can better write for your ideal audience. I hope that I have inspired you today to take your content up a few levels and make sure that you're inspiring and connecting and helping your audience achieve their goals. So be sure to check out the resources that I'll have for you on the show notes page, the blog post that goes with this episode. Simply go to socialzoomfactor.com/188 because this is episode 188. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, and year. That's a wrap.
If you're ready to Zoom your business and Zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.